Good morning, everyone. Am I audible to all?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, I welcome you all for the session one of day three. The AICT Training and Learning Academy sponsored 1 week faculty development program on advancement and entrepreneurial opportunities in additive manufacturing. Today, we'll be having the hands-on session on CAD modeling and slicing. So I will try to make sure that today's session will be interesting because it's purely hands-on session. So we'll talk about the 3D printer that is available in our institute, then how to do the modeling using the software, and also how to do the slicing using the software. So we'll discuss today in this parameters. Just a minute. So talking about the CAD modeling and slicing, the important part of the 3D printing process is to convert an STL into G code so that the 3D printer can print it out. So in the previous sessions, in the past 2 days, the process of additive manufacturing was explained, where I think what are the stages in which the product is made or the model is made was explained. So basically, you need to have a software for doing the 3D model, and that 3D model has to be fed into the 3D printer to make the final model. So any of the software that is used for modeling can be used, and that software itself will be able to produce a file in the form of .stl, and that .stl file has to be converted into a G code file, and that G code can be fed into the 3D printer. So in today's session, we'll walk through the process of slicing and printing 3D models. So no matter whichever 3D printer you own or you have in your institute, this high level process will give you a set of steps that you can take to go from an STL file to a 3D printed part. So here in this sketch, I just put one pointer. So here in this sketch, you can see that you have a CAD software. The CAD software is able to produce a .htl file, and that .htl file can be fed into the slicer. And for slicer, you need to have a separate software. And then once the slicing is done, that data can be taken through the SD card or a pen drive, and that can be fed to the 3D printer. And this is how the process is going to happen. Now, how to do the modeling by using CAD software, how to convert that to STL file, and once we do the conversion, which software we need to use for doing the slicing, and how to do the slicing is what we are going to concentrate today. So this part, whatever I have highlighted here, that is what we are going to explain more in detail. Along with that, we will also explain about the 3D printer that is available in our institute, the various parts of it and how it functions and what type of filament we are using. All those things we are going to explain. To start with, how to take an STL and convert it into a G code, then use the G code and file and run it in the 3D printer is what I am going to explain now. For CAD modeling purpose, we are using SolidWorks as the software, and the 3D printing software that we use is Ultimaker Cura, and here is the link that I have put. We can download it. It's a free version. For CAD modeling, you can use SolidWorks, and most of the colleges may be having Solid Edge. So you can go for any of the 3D modeling software. We are preferring here with SolidWorks. So we will give the demo on by using SolidWorks. And how to convert that to a G code, we are using this free open source software, which is called as the Ultimaker Cura. And this is the link, and I'll be sharing this PPT, so you can use this link and download it. So in this sketch or in this photo, whatever they have put is the CAD model, which is in the form of STL file. The STL file, which is called as the stereolithography file, that has to be converted into G code. Now, why this thing has to be converted to a G code? So that I'll slightly try to explain. Any model, we need to compile, convert it into G code, and the G code only can be fed to the 3D printer to make the final product out of it. So modeling knowledge we need to have a modeling software. Once this modeling is done, then we need to compile and convert it into a G code. Now, why it has to be converted to G code and then fed to the 3D printer, that we will explain. And once we feed it to the 3D printer using the G code, then the printing will automatically happen and we get the final product out of it. Now, what is the G code? The G code is actually a language that humans use to tell the machine how to do something. So this particular is something like the C language or any other programming language. We have a code here, which is called as the G code. And I want to tell something to the machine, and the machine need to understand that. I convey it by using the G code. So there are two types of G codes available, or two types of codes available, which we call as the G code and M code. What a G code does is it controls the movement of the machine, dictating how and where the machine should move to fabricate a part. So the main function of this G code is to control the machine or make the machine work. Then what is the function of this M code? The M code does the controlling of the miscellaneous machine functions like starting, stopping, and specific actions or programs. So these two codes are used for the machine to understand how the machine has to function. So whatever file I have in the form of HTL, if I don't convert that into a G or M code, the machine is unable to understand how to do the working. Now I'll give you an example of a G code. So whatever I have specified over here, 11 G1 F900 X something and YE and the semicolon is a code. Now this code can be understood by the 3D printer, where this 11 number indicates the line of the code or the sequence. And G and M, which I have represented here in blue color, is the command. Now here G1 is given. This G1 or G01, which we use in CNC machines like the software called as a Siemens software or the Fanuc software, uses G01. So it represents a linear movement. So here G1 represents again the linear movement, and then whatever is highlighted in red, that will define certain parameters. For example, here F900 represents the speed, and X and Y values, they are the coordinates, and E represents the feeder moment, and the semicolon represents that this particular line is done, and then we can go for the next line. So like this sequence of codes are generated so that the machine understand and every code is taken into picture and it executes. So that is how a 3D printer is going to work. So once we do the modeling, that model has to be converted into HTL file. That HTL file has to be converted into a G code so that the 3D printer can understand how it has to function. Now, how to convert the STL file, what is available in the 3D printing or the software, the 3D modeling software, to the G code for 3D printing. So any of the software that is available with us, like the SolidWorks or the Solid Edge, is able to generate a file called as the .htl file. Now with this .htl file, to feed to the 3D printer, we need to convert it into G code, which I have already explained. Now how or what are the steps involved in converting this G code, STL file to G code, is what I'll put over here. Basically, there are 5 steps, and we are going to give a hands-on session in all the steps what is added up over here. First thing is to install a slicing program. So which program we can use, that we will let you know. Once that is done, we need to add the 3D printer within the slicer. So how to add that, what are the things we need to take care there, that will be told. After that, we need to model any of the shape or any of the component. So we will model it by using the SolidWorks software and show you how to model. And once we do the modeling, how to convert that model into a .htl file, that we will let you know. And once that .htl file is created, open the STL file and prepare the printer setting. Some printer settings has to be given, like the temperature setting and filament checking, all those things. And once that is done, slice the part and get the G code. And once slicing is done, the G code will be automatically generated. We need not write the G code. The G code will be generated by using the slicing software. So this entire steps we are going to demonstrate here. And once that is done, the 3D printing process flow, that is 3D modeling, after modeling, converting it to STL file. So here you can see in this sketch very clearly, this is a 3D model. This 3D model is converted into STL file. In STL file, you can see some meshes. So it is like a human body with the skeletal system inside it. So that skeletal system will be converted. Once that is done, the machine has to understand. For the 3D printer to understand, we convert that STL file into a G code file. And once the G code file is made, that file can be directly fed into the 3D printer. And using the 3D printer, depending upon the code, the 3D printer will do the printing operation, and it does the printing layer by layer, layer by layer. And finally, we get the printed product out of it. And once the printing is done, then there will be some post-processing things that we need to do to get the final product. Like in case of casting, once the casting is done, the runner and the razor part has to be removed, and all unwanted materials that is present in the casting has to be removed. Similarly, here also, there may be some supports that may be provided, or there may be extra inclusions available in the final product. So those things has to be removed, and the final finishing has to be given. And once the final finishing is done, we'll have the final 3D printed product available with us. So today we will be demonstrating here about the machine. Once the machine is demonstrated, next we will be explaining about how to draw using the CAD software, a 3D model. And once the 3D model is prepared, we will explain you how to use the Ultimaker Cura and convert that file into a G code file. And after that, we will take that same file and feed it to the printer, and how to feed it to the printer, what precautions we need to take while feeding, all those things we are going to explain. And once that is done, we will start the printing and show you how the printing will take place in the 3D printer. And because it takes a lot of time for printing, the final product, we will show you how it will look like once the printing has started. We have already prepared the model and kept, and we'll show you how exactly the printed model will look like. And that is how today we are going to take the session. I hope the things are clear. So now I request, is there any doubt or any questions, dear participants, in this?
No, sir, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No, sir, you
So
can
now I
proceed.
invite, thank you. So now I invite Naveen Kalal, sir, to give a demo about the 3D printer that is available in our institute. Over to you, sir, Naveen, sir.
Now, Oliver. Okay. So this is the audio. Very clear. Audio. Audio. Thank you very much, sir. This is the 3D printer which is available in our college. So we started this journey of building 3D printer in May 2013. So here this 3D printer is based on the process, that is fuse deposition modeling process. In this one, we are going to build the 3D printing model, which are showcased here. Here, basically in this 3D printer, what we have is we are having the extruder part. This is the extruder part. Okay. So for that we have this filament. The filament feeder will be there. The feeder will be coming here, and here we are going to have the clipper for holding the filament. Now question will be where we are having the filament. This is the filament. So this is the filament, that is PLA filament. So here this is the 3D printing filament. So it is approximately of 1 kg. So the diameter of this filament is 1.75 mm, and the printing temperature of this one is 205 to 225 degrees centigrade. So no previous heating is required for this one. So the filament is fed here. Okay. Next, it is going to be having here we are having the feed rod. These are the lead screws on which the stepper motors are being used. So mainly here we are using 3 stepper motors, one at the bottom here for axis for up and down movement, another stepper motor here for having the y-axis, and then we are having another stepper motor for the z-axis. Mainly we are having 3 axes here. So on this 3D printer is going to. Here we are having the heating bed. So this is the heating bed or the base, which is going to be moving to and fro, that is front and back. So as the printing is going to happen, so first initially this is going to get heated and the component is going to be get glued on to that one. Sometimes we are having gluing sheets also which are available, or you can use some bags so that it can get a stick to that one. So it can be folded here. And this 3D printing is mainly working on the admin of controller. So the controller is yes, so you can remove this one and you can make a controlling of this one can be seen. And next we are so so it will be showing you the preparations what all you require. So you can prepare it. You can move in the axis, in whichever axis you require. So you can see here as we are going to move, so the increment is going to happen. This one we do it for the initialization of the machine setup where it has to be placed. Next, you can see here one cabinet. This cabinet is having the heat sinking medium. So whatever the heat is going to be generated, that has to be extracted. Power supply is provided here itself only, so that you can give uninterrupted power for that one. And at the bottom here, we are having the memory card. So this memory we can insert it here through the card reader, and we can remove the card here. So just a small 8 GB card which is there in your mobile phone, or which is there in your USBs, those you can use, and you can put this memory card into this USB card reader, and then you can use you can transfer the file from the computer to this card, and the card can read the STL file whichever sir has mentioned here. So next here from this one we are having the input which is coming to the microcontroller here. Then we are having at this particular part we find the switches, the read switches, which are or the limit switches. So these switches are going to stop the movement of our extruder from going beyond, and it is going to limit it also. And this to and fro movement of this extruder is going to help us in developing the printer. And the extruder bottom part, you can see the filament is going to be coming from this tip. So this is going to heat the filament, and then feeding is going to happen from layer by layer by one by one. Now, Mr. Ganesh will demonstrate how we can fill this filament into the. So here you can see he is opening the gripper here, and you can feed it into this nozzle here in the nozzle. So initially you have to push it, bring it out. Already some filament will be pushed out, and simultaneously at the bottom you can see the earlier previously heated element which is coming as a filament, heated filament. So it is getting down here. Okay. So we have to remove that one, cut it. So previously whichever is there in the extruder, that is the heater, so it is going to be removed. Next we have to initialize it. So we are going to come to the extruder. Next we will select the main, then prepare, then go for change filament, then wait for the filament changing happening, and the nozzle temperature is around now 200. So it takes certain time for initial setup. This type of activities are done by our students also. The students are being given the opportunity to do this modeling and transfer it to the So the initial setup or initial beginning is over now. We are waiting for the print to resume, but at present we are making only initialization. So related to the model printing, we'll be telling you after we completed the CAD model and transferring it to the STL file. Okay. Hello, Narayan Swamy sir.
Yeah.
You can tell about the CAD modeling.
Yes. Good morning to everyone. We have seen like how the model can be placed, how we can transfer the STL files, G codes, and all. So whatever the imagination it comes to your mind. So if you are able to produce that one with the CAD modeling, so easily we can print that one using the machine. Okay, so already as a mechanical engineers or maybe as a engineers, we have studied the engineering drawing or else engineering graphics in the first year itself. It's like a common to everyone, and many might be knowing like how we can just draw the 2D drawings. Okay, so 2D drawing, once we complete that one, so we can transfer that to the 3D, and here with the help of a software, so we can see the simulation how a model is generated using a 3D printing machine. Okay, so now just to give a glance to that one, so we have a many 3D modeling softwares like SolidWorks or AutoCAD, or the normal which we use it in our university, that is a V2 Solid Edge, okay, which normally we use for a CAMD, that is a computer aided machine drawing. So we can use any type of the drawing software, okay, that is a modeling software. So here we are going to use, okay, SolidWorks in order to complete the things. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is loading now.
Yes. So normally what we have chosen is, so we have taken a simple sketch. So where a screw jack, okay, so the a common thing normally use it in a day-to-day life also. Okay, so and in that one we are having many elements. Okay, so in that one we have taken only the body part, okay, which is made up of a cast iron, and you can see the dimensions regarding that one. Okay, so we have a inner diameter, okay, with a wall thickness of 10 millimeter. You can see the things here, and the diameters and all they have given. And we are going to use these drawing, okay, that is a 2D drawing information to construct a one 3D modeling, and we'll see like that 3D model how we can transfer or convert to the STL file, and we can use a one more software, that is what Vinod sir told, that is a Ultimaker Cura. Okay, so using this software, so we are going to mount. Okay, so you have seen in the machine like there is a bed, okay, bed which is preheated to a particular temperature. So again, this preheating temperature, all those things depends on the filament which we normally use to produce the product. Okay, so here this whatever the bed, so we can preset according to the machine which we are going to use. Say for example, we are going to use a MedSpy. Okay, MedSpy. So in this one, the bed size is a fixed one. Okay, say for example, we are going to have a width 200 mm, so a breadth as a 200 mm, and the Z direction we can have a maximum up to 250 millimeter. Okay, so like that we can set, and once we do the modeling, so we can just before going, this is something like a prototyping. Okay, so before going into the machine, so we can see the simulation here, so whether it is possible or not, and if we change the parameters here, so what are the effects which we are going to get it in the end product. Okay, so all those things will go one by one. So first thing in our thing is to do the 3D modeling. So to do the 3D modeling, so we are going to use a software called a SolidWorks, okay, version of 2020, so which is available as a free trial, or you can use the AutoCAD also, or you can use the Solid Edge also. So we are going to take a first drawing this one. So first you need to understand like how we can proceed with the drawing. Okay, so once we are going to see the drawing here, so I can say like so there are different features, okay, various features which are available in the modeling software, and this is something like which we can use it in a revolve boss method. Okay, so there are plenty methods. Okay, we can go with like a extrude boss or a soft or maybe loft and all, or a drafting and all. Okay, but here, so by when we look into the model, okay, so you just decide which feature you are going to use to produce that one. Okay, so here our important thing is to concentrate on the hatched part. Okay, so as a engineers we know like the hatching is nothing but a section of that one. Okay, so when it comes to the section, so this is the thickness of a wall which we are going to have, that is a 10 mm, and the height and the curvature, that is a fillet radius, everything they have given. So just for a time being, we need to just make a note of the things. Okay, not exactly the dimension, just the outer part. So like say for example, we have a center line here. Okay, so from the center line, it is symmetric about the center line, so we are going to use a revolve boss command, and just to see the structure, outline structure, we will be having a horizontal line, then a vertical line, then a one line inclined at some angle, and then again we are going to have a one vertical line, then a horizontal line. So when we come back to the SolidWorks, so when we click to here, okay, so file, when we go to the new, so here it asks many things like a part, assembly, drawing. Okay, so we know all these things like a, so for assembly we need a each part, individual part to be generated. And when it comes to the drawing, it is something like which we are going to produce in order to produce that product. Okay, the information regarding the dimensions, okay, the top or a front or the what are the different components which we are going to use, all those things will come in a drawing. But we are not going to touch about all these things, so we are going to just talk about a part, okay, just a single part, so which we can develop using this one. So click to the part and go with the part dimension. So here we'll get a entire picture where we can drop here. So for us, it is a important things are sketch and a feature. Okay, as I said, once we see, okay, any component, you have to decide which feature you are going to use. Okay, so now for a time being in the initial stage, so extruded boss or a base or revolved boss or a base, these two are going to get highlighted. So as I said, when we are going to see our picture, okay, so here we have decided like we are going with the revolve boss command. So initially you can select or later also you can select. So once you are going to select a revolve boss command, so it will ask like, so which plane you are going to select, okay, or in which plane you are going to do that 2D drawing. Okay, so when we see here, okay, so this is what exactly the front view. Okay, so depending upon the view of the section, okay, or the component which they have given, so we are going to decide which plane. So it is looking in the front view, so we are going to take it in the front view. So normally the height of the component will be provided in the front view. So here we can see it is almost a 185 mm, so which we can see it here. And as I said, taking an outline, so we'll come back here. Okay, so we'll select the front plane. So you can see here, so once we select the front plane, it is highlighted. So now we are going to get a normal picture here. So we'll go to the line command. So first we are going to have a center line because it's a revolve boss command. So just we are going to drop a center line which passes through the origin. Okay, so we'll just take a one center line. Okay, then again we'll go to a line command. Okay, so as I said, we are going to just take one horizontal line. Okay, a simple horizontal line, then a vertical line. Okay, so then a little bit horizontal line. So then we are going to get an inclined line here. Okay, it's just a drawing a profile. So we are going to just have an inclined line. So then a small horizontal line, then a vertical line. Okay, so then complete it. It's just we are not worried about the dimensions. Okay, so just a outline. Okay, so you can see the outline is something like one horizontal line, vertical line, then horizontal line. So then we are going to have one inclined line, a little bit step here, and then one vertical line, then a horizontal line. So here we are concentrating only a half part of that one. As I said, it's a revolve boss, so we are going to concentrate only half of the product. So once we do here, okay, first thing is, so you can do the smart dimension, okay, initially, or else, okay. So once we take the first thing we can constrain in this one is the height. Okay, the first thing we are going to constrain here is the height. That is what we normally are talking about the boundary. Okay, so once we take out here, so it's a 185. Okay, so once we give the dimension, so it will be like this. So next we'll go one by one. So we can say here it's a 20 and here it's a 40. Okay, so once we give this one, the middle portion of the length will be fixed by itself. So what we'll do again, we'll go with the dimension, that is a smart dimension. So then we'll give it here. Okay, so this is a 20. And this is the 40. Okay, so once that one is done, so we can see there is a fillet here. Okay, fillet, they have given a radius of 8. So we'll take that one. So here there is a command for a fillet. Okay, so sketch fillet. So we'll give the radius as a 8 and we'll select the components like this and we'll click OK. Okay, so you can see automatically the radius will come here. Okay, so once the height and all those things done, so we'll concentrate now on the diameter part. Okay, so you can see the outer diameter is a 140 and the inner diameter, this will take up later. So here we have a one more diameter which is equal to the 70. So 140 and 70. So that will give initially. So we'll take a dimension here. Okay, so we'll give the radius part here. Okay, this line corresponding to, so 140, so divided by 2, we'll take it as a 70. We'll take a 70. Okay, so then we'll take up upper part, so where the diameter is 70, so we'll give it as a 35. So divided by 2. Okay, so we got this one. So now you can see it here. Okay, so the inner diameter, so there will be a line. Okay, you can see it here, there is a dotted line, so which will be at a distance of 3 millimeters. So they have given a deep 3 pi 100. So what we'll do for this one is, so we'll offset this line. Okay, so there is a command called offset. So in this one, so normally this will be default selected, that's a select chain, but we are going to do it individually. So what you can do here is, so first give a dimension as a 3 mm. So this line, so we want it here. So you can say here we are going to get a 3 mm. Okay, and one more we want to do here is, so this line, so we don't know like exactly where exactly it is situated. So what we'll do, we'll take a default 3 mm to this side itself. Okay, so then we'll check up like how we can go with that method. Okay, so now what we have to do here is, you have to delete this dimension, or else what will happen, so there will be a conflict over the dimension. So it will be like a okay. So now we'll go to the trim option. So there are plenty. So we are not going to worry about that one. So we'll take a power trim. So we'll cut this. Okay, so we'll cut this. Okay, so we'll cut this. Okay, so we'll have this one. So now once we look to the sketch again, okay, so as I said, the diameter is a 500 mm, 100 mm. So we'll take a diameter, okay, smart dimension from this line till to the center line. So it's a 100, so we'll take it as a 50 and we'll drop. So now we can see like this is almost done. So now there is a curvature, so you can see it here. Okay, at this point, okay, so at this point, so there is a curvature, so which we can recognize here, but they have not given that one. But to the dimension which you have taken 3 mm, so max we can give a 2 mm. So we'll take a fillet. Okay, so we'll give max of a 2 mm, and this line will this line. Okay, so even if you give more than that one, it will not take that one. Okay, so this is how exactly it is visible now. Okay, and one more thing we left out is, okay, so this dimension. So here the step they are not given, but we can see there is a 70 and there is a 67. So it's a 3 mm divided by 2 means it's a 1.5 mm both the side. So instead of giving like 3 mm and all, so what we can do here is, we'll go to the smart dimension. We'll take this point and to the center point. So it's a 65 divided by 3. So 33.5. Okay, so you can see. Okay, so 67, so 33.5 we have taken. Okay, so this is how exactly we can do the modeling. So once we have done, so you can see the hatching portion is at a distance of 10 millimeter. So we can offset that one and we can proceed with the points. Okay, so for that one we have a command called offset. Okay, so the distance is at 10 mm. Okay, so we'll go by part. So we want this one. Okay, you can see it here, and we want this one. Same 10 millimeter. Okay, so we want only the two. So how to connect that one? So we'll see now. So in the trim, okay, so there is a command called extend to next. If you go and click on that point, so we'll get one part here. Okay, and we want one more part here. Okay, so once that one is done, so go to the trim. Okay, so power trim. So carefully. So trim these points. So this is how exactly we can produce the things. Okay. So now the 2D drafting is done. So we need to convert this one to the 3D. So already we have selected that feature. So we'll exit the sketch. Okay. So then it is already selected. So in the beginning itself, we have selected this one. So axis of the revolution. So this is the center point we're going to take. So you can see. Okay. So blindly already it has taken. So here while selecting that revolve base, by default it will take a 360. So if you don't want to have a continuous 360, so you can say, like I say, for example, just I will enter here 180 also. So you can see the off part here. I hope it is you can see recognize this one. Okay, so wherever it is possible to have a 90 degree, okay, or a 180 degree or a 360 degree, so whichever the possible way you can use it here. Okay, so we find that this SolidWorks is a simple one, so where we can do the 2D modeling and we can complete the 3D modeling like this. Okay. Okay, so this is how exactly we can see it here. Okay, so if you want to change the appearance, okay, in the colors, so this is what exactly we can produce the 2D and 3D sketches. Okay, so once this one is done, okay, so now if you are going to save it, okay, so if you go to the file and if you just save this one, okay, so if you just say save, okay, so here you can see it will be saved default, it will be saved in a .prt, that is a part drawing. Okay, or else if you scroll down that one, so you will get a plenty of these things. Okay, now we already know, like so DFT file, DWG file. Okay, so all those things, so we know. Okay, so initially what we'll do now, just to make sure that the part will remain same. Okay, so before proceeding into the 3D printing and all, so we'll save this one in the part modeling itself. Say like I will say this is a body. Okay, so I will save it in wherever I want. So I will say just like a body. Okay, so now if you see the history of this one, so it will be selected and saved in the PRT drawing. Okay, so now what you have to do, once you are ensured that whatever the work you have done is saved properly, so now once again we'll go to the file, we'll go to the save as. Okay, we'll go to the save as. So as already I said, you will get a plenty of dot files, okay, extension of the files. So here our interest is to have a .stl file. So as already Vinod sir told in the beginning also, so we need to save the file in a .stl file, so which will be used for further processing. Okay, so means if you're going to use the .stl file, then only we can proceed for a next thing where we can view the simulation and where we can proceed for a G codes and all. So as already we have told, it's a STL means a stereolithographic file. So we'll take that one. Okay, so we'll save that one. Say for example, like we will give body only, and we'll give it as a save. Okay. So you can say, so this now the first step is done. So means whatever the imagination or whatever the dream or whatever the product which comes to your mind. So if you are able to give some dimension to that one, okay, some dimension to that one, and if you can view that one with the 3D, so then maximum part of that whatever the dream or the imagination is almost over. Okay, so once now this one is done, okay, so we'll exit this one. Okay, so now we'll take the next part. There is a second step in this one is a Ultimaker Cura. Okay, so this is a free software, so which is available. If you just Google it, so you will get this one. Okay, so Ultimaker Cura. So once you are going to open this one, so this in this software, so what I said, like this is something like, see, before doing that one, say for example, we use ANSYS, right? So where we can see the meshing. Okay, so when we're going to apply the load, how we can visualize the things and all. Similarly, okay, before going for a 3D printing, okay, here we can see or we can analyze what are the parameter which you are going to use for a 3D printing, and how that model, that's the end product of that one, is visible here. Okay, so once this one is done, okay, now we need to go to the load. Okay, so to the settings. Okay, so first thing is to have the printer settings. Okay, so now here if you go to the setting, you can see the printer. Okay, so here printer. Okay, then we'll go to the add printer. Okay, so if the printer is something like it's a 3D printing machine. Okay, normally we use it in a like a Word file and all, right? So whenever we go for a printer settings and all, whatever the machine which we are going to use it for a printing, so that will be selected here. Okay, so now here, so we are going to, if your machine is not added here, so you can go here and print and add a printer. Okay, and you can go here and you can search for the whatever the machines we are here. Okay, so like Ultimaker, S5, all those things. So if your machine is not listed here, you can go to the customize. You can go to the customize, and we can type the name of that one, so it will come automatically here. Okay, so for us like it is, okay, for us it is like already we have added that one. So once it is selected here, okay, whatever the printer we are going to use, you can just click add. Okay. So once you're going to click add for that whatever the machine, now the important thing here is the printer setting. Okay, so here, so as I said, if you look into this one, okay, so here this whatever the space I said, like, so this is nothing but the actual printing area of the machine. So when we see the machine, so that machine is prescribed, okay, or will be having some standard of a width or maybe breadth and what is the Z direction. So means whenever, even when we're going to buy that one, so they may ask like, sir, what is the bed width, okay, or bed size you want to have the printing. Okay, even when a customer approaches to us also, so we'll tell the same thing like, so this is what is the limitation of our machine. Okay, so if your product is okay fitted into this area, so we can proceed that one. So now according to our machine, the one which we are having, so here we are having X as a 200 mm, okay, so Y as a 200 mm, and Z as a 250, Z as a 250, and here always, okay, so here we are going to have a, it's a like a rectangle. Okay, so the bed shape of that one, so you just select that one and go to the next. Okay, so now here you can see here, okay, the whatever the printer which you have added here, it is already there. Okay, but if the machine which normally we use, okay, for your demonstration is made by MedSpy, so we'll select that one. So already we have preset that one. Okay, so we'll go with the same method. Okay, and if you want to see, once you are going to load the part here, if you want to see that one, so you can see at the left bottom corner, you can see there is a isometric view or a front view or a top view or a side view. Okay, all those things. So we'll see that one when we are going to load the component on that one. Okay, so to load that one, so here we have a file option. Okay, so once you click here, okay, so wherever you saved that one, so I have saved it as a body. You can see the difference here. Okay, so the file which you have saved as a .stl and the file which you have saved with the JPG or all those things, you can see it here. So we'll go with the body. Okay, the one which you have saved with the body. So you can see, okay, the default orientation will come like this. Okay, see now if you load the part here, so you can see at the left side, so there are few what you call options which are going to pop up here. Okay, so once you are going to click on the body, okay, so once you're going to see, or once you're going to select the body, okay, you can see at the left hand side, so there are few things which are going to pop up here. Okay, so now there are three directions which you can see: red, yellow, and red, blue, and green. So you can see it here also. So the red corresponding to the X, okay, and the Y, green corresponding to the Y, and blue corresponding to the Z. Say for example, I want to move it in the X direction. You can see. Okay, so when I'm going to move it like this, so the value of the X keeps on changes. Or if you want to place it in the Y direction, okay, or if you want to place it in the Z direction. Okay, so whatever the direction you want to move or place it that one. Okay, so according to that one we can use. That's the first thing. The second thing is a scale factor. Okay, yeah. So the first one here in the when it comes to the Z direction, so we need to keep this one is the 0. That make sure that that is on the table. That is on the table. Okay. So once again, if you click to the model, and when it comes to the second part, this is something like a scaling. Okay, so okay, scaling means something like a, so you see we know like a isometric scale, or maybe 1:2 or 1:4. Okay, so if it is not fitted to the whatever the table which we are going to use it in the 3D software. Okay, so we are going to use it in this one. Okay, so next one will be rotation. Okay, say now if you are going to place your body, okay, in which orientation? Say now, say for example, if you want to orient in a vertical direction, okay, or if you want to rotate in some other direction, so where we can keep it in a different way. Okay, so this orientation is important when it comes to the supporting systems. Okay, so like a printing, say for example, I will tell you one thing. So the same model, okay, so if you are going to keep it in a vertical position and in a horizontal position, we'll take two things. Okay, say now if I'm going to have it in a horizontal direction, like this means, so here, so we need to support this thing when we are going to print this part. We need to support this whole section, that is a allow section, so with the vertical lines. Say for example, in a construction we use scaffoldings. Okay, scaffoldings to what you call to support the RCC, that is a concrete flooring and all. So in order to do that one, so if you go with the horizontal way, okay, so the supportings which we need to support will be more, and there will be a wastage of a material. There will be a wastage of a material. For that one, what we'll do, we'll go with the vertical method. Okay, like we'll keep this one vertical. So here there is no supporting things are which are needed for a component. Okay, so just it will go with the revolving method and it will finish it up. Okay, so that's the one thing. And one next one will be the mirror option. Okay, so there where we can flip this one to the right or maybe the left mirror. Okay, and the next one will be like a hatching. Okay, so that is a mesh type. So either a normal or a print like this and all. Okay, so but normally we go with the normal machines only, normal meshing method only. Okay, so and the last one is so to cut the material. Okay, so if you want to remove a part of the material and all, so we'll go with that one. Okay, say for example like this. Okay, so wherever you want to cut the material, so you can just go with that one. Okay, so very important thing here are placing your component. Okay, So as I said here, so always that should be 0 to ensure, okay, it is on the ground. So if not, we'll show once. So if it is not given some 0, okay. So now we can see, see the here, okay. So there is a gap between the what you call the product base and the table, okay. That should not happen. So it should be on the ground itself. So what we'll do here, if you give a 0, so you can see, okay. So that is the difference normally we are going to observe, okay. So when it comes to these things, okay, so select the object and make sure that Z is at a 0 point, okay. So make sure that the body is on the bed. Yeah, so we'll go. Okay, so means, so if you're going to move to the center, okay, exactly center of the table, okay, so the color of the model will change it to the yellow, okay. That ensures that, so that is exactly perfectly at the center, so it is symmetric, okay. You need not to worry like which side it will go and all, okay. So the next thing are important settings which we are going to do it here, okay, are the material, okay. So the one which you are going to use it here is a PLA, okay. So you have plenty of methods, okay, the materials which are available. The one which you normally be use it here is a PLA, so we'll take that one, okay. So the properties of that one are already stated in that one. So next thing will be, so sorry, so these things are very important when it comes to the printing settings, okay. So we'll see one by one. So the quality normally, okay, the layer height, okay, the layer height of that one, so normally it will be in a millimeter, okay. So higher the values will faster will be the points in a lower resolutions, okay. So lower values produce lower prints in a higher resolution, okay. So means the density of that one, okay, the strength of that one is going to depend upon the layer height, okay. So normally we can keep it to 0.01 also if you need a more precision, okay. So we'll keep it to the 0.1. So next will be the shell, okay. So that is a default one, so we need not to worry about that one, okay. So next very important thing is a infill, okay. So this is a very important part when it comes to, say for example, for what purpose you need the product, okay. So say just to have a only aesthetic look, okay, just to keep it like a beautification product and all. So then we can go with the infill, so which is higher, okay. Let's say for example 80% or 90% or 100%. So here the number indicates like so lesser the number, so higher the density of the material and higher will be the strength, okay. Say for example, we'll show one what you call change which you are going to get it maybe once we finish these settings, okay. So now for a timing we'll keep that 150. So what are the changes we are going to get, we'll show, okay. So next will be the infill pattern, say whether you are going to fill that material in a line, okay, or a zigzag manner. So those two we will show at the end once we're going to what are the implication of these infill density and the infill pattern. So we'll see at the end once we finish these settings, okay. So material, the printing temperature. So once we select the material, so in the raw material which they have provided, on that itself they will provide the melting point of that one. So here we have selected the PLA, the melting point is 200, okay. So the speed, okay, so how fast, so you can see the speed is millimeter per second. The print speed like say again, so it depends like so how fast you are going to do that one, okay. So again this is going to decide the quality of your end product. So we are going to keep it as a 60 millimeter. And even the travel, okay, so that is a standard. The cooling, so normally it is the fan speed and all, it is the standard one, okay. When it comes to the support, so we are not going to generate any support here, okay. So just say like by itself it is going to give the support, Okay, so build plate adhesion, so dual extrusion, so all those things are not needed for our thing. So we'll finish those things. Okay, so now once we do these settings, okay, so we'll see. Okay, so how the process is we are going to get it here. Okay, so before that one, we need to go for the slicing. Okay, enable to. Settings. Just a minute. So slicing is like a preparing the or cutting the models into a thin layers. So where we can decide how many layers we are going to lay it on the model. Okay, so this is the important one. So now we'll see what are the what you call effect of infill and the grid. Okay, the type of the infill. Okay, those two are very important. Now you can see it here. So it takes a 12 hours and 15 minutes to finish this model. Okay, the material weight of that one will be 95 gram, and the filament length. Okay, the filament length which it is going to consume will be 12.04 meter. Means say for example, if you are running out of the filament and all, okay, so you need to check out, okay, whether that much of filament is available in your reel or not. Okay, so now here we have taken a infill as a 80%. Okay, so now for a 80% it has taken, okay, as I said, like a, so here 80% and a lines. So what are the difference we'll see. Now we'll take a 10 percentage. Okay, so density as a 10. Okay, so once again, once we do the setting, so you need to go for a slicing. We'll see the difference between a 10 and a 80. See the now time has reduced to 6 hours and 9 minutes. Okay, so with the 80%, okay, it was 12 hours, and with the 10%, so now it has reduced to the half of the time. Okay, so we can see. So now we can see the simulation here. Okay, so you can see the 10% means, so this is how exactly we're going to get the product. Okay, so each layer, so will be like a printing. This is what is simulation. So this is same way the printing will be done. Okay, so before doing a printing, so you can see actually, okay, so how the things are going to happen here. Okay, so this you remember, like it's a 10% we have taken, and the time it is going to take, it's a 6 hours and 9 minutes. Okay, so now we'll see, we'll change it to the 80% and see the pattern. Now it is a line. Okay, so initially it was a grid, so now we'll change it into the lines. So now we'll see like how the lines, okay, infill following the pattern of the lines, how it will take. Okay, just a few minutes. Now see, as we said, like the time has increased to 12 hours and 15 minutes, and the product weight is 95 grams, and the meter which you're going to get it with 12.04. You can see the pattern now. Okay, so initially it was grid like, okay, so now it is a line like structure, and the infill is 80%. Okay, so see the line spacings. Okay, so previously, so the gap between the grids, okay, so it was too huge and it was taking a less time. Okay, now the gap between the lines is too small, the density of the material will be high. Okay, and the strength and the quality which you're going to get it in the end product will be very high. That is what I said. See the end result. Okay, so whether you want to 3D print a component just to have a like a showpiece, okay, or you want to 3D print a product which is useful, okay, which can take up a little bit load or something like that and all. So depending upon that one, so one can see the infill percentage and the pattern in which it is going to infill that one. Okay, so once we do this one, so once it is done, okay, so you can see, okay, so our most of the part of the work is done. Okay, so now you can see there is no disturbance in this one. Okay, so everything is done now. So now we loaded a STL file and we did all these settings, okay, which are pre-required for a machine, and we are going to save the file. Okay, save the file. Now automatically it will come to the G code file. Okay, so it is automatically, it will take it to the G code. So where the 2D or a 3D drawing, okay, so which will be converted into machine language, okay, where a 3D printing can understand that one. Okay, so now you can see here it is automatically selected as a CFF underscore body, okay, which will be G code. So we'll save that one. So now I will try to see that one here. See, this is the G code file. You can see. So if you go with this one, there are thousands of lines. Okay, so for each layer, so it is going to have, and that's all. Okay, so this file, so we are going to save it to the SD card, so which we are going to load it to the machine. Sorry. So we'll save this one to the okay, so it is moved to the card. Okay, so now we'll show how to load that one to the machine. Okay, so we are going to load the file to the machine.
So this is the file, whatever we have transferred it into this card reader, and from the card we are going to insert it into card reader. We are going to resume the setting. Here first we are going to select the information screen, and here you can see that the extruder temperature is 200 degrees centigrade, bed temperature is 30 degrees centigrade, and the fan is on, and the position of the extruder, that is X70, Y40 and Z159 is visible. Okay. Then change to SD card reader. Printer from SD. Then go to the file name which we have given. The G code file name whichever we have given, that we are going to read from the card reader.
Yeah.
So the CFFT underscore body dot G code, that is the code which has been created. Select it. Then it is going to read that one, and you can see machine for the initial setup. We are changing to the bed, coming to the bed first position, the initialization, the home position of the bed. So we are coming to the bed home position. So here, as you can see, it is a layer by layer deposition process. So the initial base of the so the bed temperature has to be elevated. So it was off till now. So we are waiting for it to elevate. As because the bed temperature is not sufficient, so it is not getting sticking to the surface. So the requirement of bed temperature, you can see here it is 60 degree. Right now it is 43 degree. So if already you are processing and the filament is not getting stick to that one, so if some filaments are getting stuck, so we can remove it. With the help of a small chisel, you can remove it. Here you can see this is a glass mirror. To make it level, you can use spirit level to make it level. There are provisions for making it to level. Here we are having the provision knobs for bringing it to level. Below this glass screen, we are having the PCB heater bed. So this is printed circuit board heater bed from which heat is going to be transferred to the. No. So this is how the heating of the bed is going to take. So now it is 67 degrees. So it is waiting to reach 60 degrees. Now again we are going to resume the printing. So here the nozzle is telling about the feed position, nozzle feed position. So it is filament first. So there we can see the filament is sitting first there. So here we can see the filament getting extruded. This is like similar to our injection molding. The filament gets melted and deposits on the previously deposited filament and get fused. So this is the initial layer, that is the bottom surface of our supporting body. So here body is started, not yet started, but so here you can see these drivers are making the belt drive to move slowly, so axis movement can be achieved. So this is how the building of the layers is happening one by one. So you can increase the speed also, and you can manually adjust the speed also here. It depends on the quality of the product what you require. So here we can show you the already printed body of the model whichever we had created. So this is the model which has been created. So it takes more time, but we are going to show you. So you can see the bottom part. Okay, the thickness of sheet. So you can see it is getting deposited layer by layer, and it is solid. Okay, the time taken for this to model was overnight is
9 hours.
5 hours,
9 hours.
9 hours. So this is how you can model it, and we are having different models also already generated. So here we have made the screw jack model with the holder and with the Tommy rod and the lead screw. Okay, so these are operatable also, but you can give them the dimensions which you require it to operate. So this is what we make our students do and make them realize how their CAD existing models can be converted into a 3D based models. And some of the products made by our faculty, Ganesh, these are the products which have been made, which we are demonstrating. So we can have a embossing also, and we are having here the camera holder also. So you can see how we can make it. Then we are having the spinner, okay, and we are having pen stands. So this is how we make it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Narayan sir.
If you have any doubts, okay.
So anyone, any doubts, if you are having any questions you are having, you can ask. So we are ready to answer your questions or queries. So we made one small effort from our side to make our faculties or whoever are present here, how we do our 3D printing models for at a student's level, for the students level, how we do presentation, and what are the type of the students level development work we undergo here in our college, just to information. So many of the students come up for us that they want to make some models, but when we tell them we can make that model into bring into reality, so they feel very happy and they appreciate their own work, that yes, we can do this one. And we have demonstrated such things for PUC level and for the small schools levels also. So you might be having these type of printers, but someone might be using it or someone might be guiding you. But we tell that faculties at your own level, at your home itself only, you can do this one. The cost of these printers are available will start from 15,000. It goes to around 70,000-80,000, which are available in the market. So you can procure them, do it, and some composite work also can be done on these particular parts. So any questions from your audience side or anything you want to ask, you can ask. You can unmute yourself and ask. There was one question. So which type of glass plate, which type of heating element is going to be used on a glass plate? I have already answered. That is, it is the PCB based heating plate. And the material which we are using here is the polylactic acid, that is PLA. Another material which is available in the market is the ABS also, which is similar to this one.
Yeah, just we wanted to show. See, this is how we can see it need not to be a single component. Okay, so we can have a multiple components. Okay, again depending upon your bed size. Okay, so you can keep all those models on the top itself. Okay, you can mesh, and you can produce all the things at a time. So you can see this is a screw jack assembly. Okay, so all the parts are produced at a time. Okay, so you can see these are the supporting material. Okay, so supporting material which it is going to have it in order to produce. So initially when we start the machine, so it is going to take a base. Okay, the outline of that one. So normally we are going to, even when we are going to do the drawing, so we will take a boundary. So like that, even the machine takes the boundary and it creates supporting material. Okay, then it starts printing the actual material. Okay, so once we take out this one, so you need to remove all these material. Okay, so after removing the material itself, okay, so you can see these are the supports. Okay, so we were talking like see if we say for example the same material, if you're going to take it as a vertical one, so the supporting required may be less. Okay, but when we take it to the horizontal posting and all, okay, the supporting needs more, and the wastage of a material will be little bit high. Okay, so we can think of like a recycling this material and producing that filament in order to produce the uh, model also. Okay, and when we have these supporting materials, it takes a more time. Okay, so instead of completing in a 1 or 2 hours and all, so it takes a more time. Okay, so thank you. If you have any doubts or any queries, you can ask us.
So thank you, Narayan Swami sir. That whatever he was talking about was the sacrificial layers. The layers itself only becomes as a scaffolds, and it is going to help us to build. Okay. There is one question from other open source software other than Cura for slicing. At present, whatever we have observed, we are getting this open source software, that is Cura. They are available, so we can explore. Okay. Okay, thank you, Swami sir, thank you, Vinod sir, thank you, Ganesh sir. So we'll wind up this today's first session, and our next session will be starting at 11:30. It's on 3D printing, a revolutionary weapon for medical tech, medtech industries by Dr. Shabana Uruj, Associate Professor, Princess Nora bint Abdul Rahman University, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. She is going to join us. So we'll be starting the session at 11:30.